Also, just to point out, if I'm a wee bit off in this video, it's because I'm home alone and it's dark and I'm terrified and I keep hearing noises. I think it's next door or my cat, but either way, I am terrified. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. Today's video, I thought that I would do something, again, a little different. Will I ever stop saying that on this channel? I don't know. Hopefully someday I realise that everything on my channel is the same. But yeah, today I thought that I would talk you through my top 5 favourite drugstore palettes. I feel like recently a lot of like beauty influencers and stuff have kind of taken away from drugstore, and obviously, like, if you know me and you know this channel well, I am a huge fan of drugstore. I am a huge advocate for if you can get something cheaply, then definitely get it cheaply. Like, you don't need to spend a lot of money to look good, feel good, for anything. Like, everything can be done on a budget, in my opinion anyway. So I thought that I would talk you through my top 5 favourite drugstore palettes just to save you some money, and as well, in case you are a beginner, these palettes are basically everything you need to get set up in makeup. So without any further ado, I will get on into the video. Just a second before we get on into the video, if you're wondering why my makeup is a little bit mental today, I did just film a first impressions video which should be up on my channel soon. So if you would like to see how I got this makeup, or you're interested in whatever products I've used on my face, then just hit the subscribe button, maybe the notification bell, and then you will be able to find out because the video will be up soon. Okay, so the first palette that I'm going to show you, I've used so many times on this channel. It does also come with some highlighting shades, and they're honestly, like, I swear by these highlights so much. Like, they're my favourite highlighters, and that palette is the BH Cosmetics X Cardi Bybel Deluxe Edition palette. Now, if you are big into YouTube and you know who Cardi Bybel is, she's one of the OG YouTubers. Like, I remember her being around when I was really small and just starting to get into makeup, and then just starting to get into YouTube, and then I had my old YouTube and all that there kind of stuff. So when you open up the palette, it says aspire to inspire, very Cardi Bybel with the inspirational quote. You've got 6 highlight shades, and then you have I can't do maths. And then you have 15 eyeshadow shades. A lot of these are matte, a lot of them are shimmers. I'm just going to swatch the white highlighter for you, the gold highlighter for you, and the pink highlighter for you. Okay, so they come onto your fingers like this, and then I'm just going to do the back of my hand. Maybe pan my hand at the back of my hand. That is what they look like. They're really blinding, as you can see. But yeah, the reason why this palette has made it onto my top 5 list is because this, I think, retails for £14, which I think is really good for a drugstore palette, especially for the fact that you're getting those highlights with it. And it's also a very neutral palette, so you can wear this every day, but there are also little pops of colour in there, which I also think is a wee bit handy, so that you can be a wee bit more creative with it as well. I think that if you're just starting makeup, this is a perfect way to begin. You don't have to buy yourself highlights or anything, so highlights are already in there. It is quite big, but if you think about it, like when you're traveling, you can just bring this and you won't need any highlights, and sometimes don't even need a bronzer. I personally don't use like a shimmery bronzer, but yeah, some people do. That's what that shade looks like, by the way. It's so pretty. I just think the pigmentation of this palette is amazing, and it's definitely a steal of £14. So yeah. Okay, so with beginners in mind, the next palette is a good way for those who want to start experimenting with colour, and that is the Lorac Premium Makeup Palette. I don't really mention this a lot on my channel. This just in the fact that I have smaller, more compact palettes that do have mirrors in them. This one does not have a mirror at all. So basically, you open it up and there are 2 trays. This is the bottom tray. The top tray comes on top of it, and then you move it over into this side. This is the 120 Summer Colours palette. As you can see, that is a lot of colours. They are pretty pigmented as well, if I like just swatch a few for you. There's like a blue and a green. The pigmentation is good. This palette only costs £7, and it is a really good palette for if you are beginning makeup and you want to start experimenting with colour, or you just want one palette to bring with you that has all the colours, because as you did see, there are also neutrals in there. So this I would definitely recommend, like if you, as I said, are beginning makeup, or maybe even if you are like far into makeup but you just want a palette with all the colours just right there. As you can see, I've hit pan in the white, I'm close to hitting pan in a few others. So yeah, I think this is a really good palette to have in your collection at least. Keeping on with the theme of colour, this one is recently like my favourite coloured palette. It's the NYX Ultimate Brights palette. I've been wanting this for so long, and I recently just got it on my trip back home to Belfast. It comes with 16 shadows. As you can see, they're all quite bright. These are pastel based, so like they're less bright than these ones, but they're still really bright. I really love this palette. I think it blends really well. The pigmentation is really good. I would recommend though a white base for underneath them because, as I said, they are a pastel base, so they do need that like light base to pop. These might not work on darker skin, I'm not too sure. Just because they do have the pastel base, that might make them a wee bit ashy, but if you're lighter skinned or you can use like a really pale base, then this palette is a really good one. But yeah, this is in my top 5, and it is definitely a lot more compact than the Lorac one, so like if you're traveling, this is a really good idea. This one did retail for £16 though, so it is more on the higher end side. It is still drugstore, but it's just a wee bit more pricey. Another palette that comes with colours and also shimmers, and then, you know, the neutrals and stuff like that, is the Soph X Revolution palette. I love this palette. This palette is so good for beginners. It's got all your summer shades, some wintry autumnal shades, some neutral shades, and then it even comes with a black and a white, which I think are really essential for any kit. This palette also does have a lot of shimmers, and I think the pigmentation of this palette is really good. Just gonna try and swatch a few thingy-majigs for you. These last 3 ones are the swatches from this. I'm covering my armpit because it's really sweaty and I don't want you to see that. Like, nobody deserves to see that. But yeah, I think that this palette is really good. It comes with like little inner corner highlight shades, and it is only £10. I think £10 is really good for a palette of that much pigment, and with a mirror of that size, like, it's really good for traveling, I think, and you can still be really creative with it, but also be really neutral with it. So I think this palette is really good. There's a bit of a theme here with me. I like compact palettes that are good for traveling. I do travel a lot. My family are in Ireland, my guardians are in England, so I'm pretty much based in England, but I study in Wales, so I do travel like a lot. So I do like it whenever I can pack a palette, just put it in my bag, and I can still be creative but still do my day-to-day looks. That is what I need in my life. Okay, and the last palette that I am going to show you guys for my top 5 drugstore palette is the Barry Amp Fall in Love palette. I thought I'd include this because we are encroaching on autumn now. We're in September, so I thought that we needed to add some autumnal colours. These are colours that won't really be in many other palettes, just because they are quite seasonal. I mean, some of them are really in fashion now, but they are mainly seasonal. So this is what the colours are inside. You get 10 colours within the palette. I've used this a few times on this channel before, and I really do like the palette. The pigmentation is really good in this one as well. I'm just gonna swatch some for you. There you go. I mean, it doesn't show up that great on camera because I'm really far away, but I do really like this palette. It comes with a dark brown, not a black, so it's not as harsh on your face, and then it does come with a bit of a white. It's more of a cream, but it's definitely like on the whiter side. I do really love this palette. I think it's perfect for autumn. Shades are really pigmented. It blends so nicely, like, honestly. So yeah, now that we're coming into autumn, if you're wanting to be a wee bit more experimental, then I would say go for this palette as well. And again, it's compact and it has a mirror. What else could you want? What else could you want? One thing I will say though is it may be like compact this way, but it's really thick. Like, it's hard to kind of put it in my little stand over there, so that's the only fault I'll have with this, but I do think it's good, I guess. Okay guys, so that is my top 5 drugstore palette. I do realize I kind of sped through it and didn't give like a really detailed description of the palettes. I didn't really feel like I needed to. I feel like once you see a palette and you see, you know, a few swatches, then you're kind of sold on a palette. I will say though, like, these 2 are the more expensive ones. There's a spider on my roof, what the heck? The one that's most worth its price mark would be the Carly Bybel one, because you do get all those highlighters and this. Like, it is really good for traveling and every day. You know, like, you could make a really neutral look with this to wear to school, and then you can bring it in your bag, and then if you need to go out after like work or whatever, you can just kind of top up. So I do like, this is the one I recommend the most. This is my number 1. Yeah, that is it for today's video. Let me know down below if you've tried out any of these palettes, or if you think that you will try out any of them, and also let me know down below what your number 1 favorite palette is. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I hope this was somewhat helpful. It probably wasn't because it's me and I don't really talk very well, but I hope it was helpful. I'll stay hopeful. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back, and if you are new here and you think you might want to stick around, don't forget the subscription button is down there along with the little notification bell. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I will get to see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.